Hello, fellow beings of light, and welcome to not only episode 27 of our podcast, but to our 999 portal activation. Because apparently my team has decided that they should be one and the same. With good reason, though. I'm sensing that. When I sat down last week, when this episode was meant to be being recorded, it hit me. 27. 2 plus 7, 9. Another 9 in the 9th month, in the build-up to this 999 portal in 2025, the end of a 9-year cycle. Now, for those that have been following our podcast for a while, it started at the end of last year as 4 episodes a month. The first 16 spanning December to March. And if I'd stayed on track with that plan, that schedule in the months that had followed, we would have been on what number? Oh my gosh. We would have been on episode 36. 3 plus 6, 9. But at the end of August. A bit early for the synchronicity that was clearly meant for this month, for September. That's obviously not what happened. We're on 27, not 37. I only did 2 episodes in April, which I thought at the time was just me regrouping and adjusting to the massive shifts that were going on in my personal journey and also in my journey as a light worker in terms of our podcast, our activations, and our offerings. But then May, June, July, August were all the same. 2 episodes a month. And honestly, up until the beginning of last month, my human brain thought I was getting behind, getting off course. My human emotions were frustrated and running short on grace for myself. I was struggling, or I thought I was. In August, it finally clicked, though. The slowdown was my team and the universe, not me. The shift to 2 episodes a month was meant to happen, to allow me to focus on bigger and more in-depth things. This build-up into stepping into major shifts that we are culminating this month. To allow me to begin shifting from only focusing on initiating collective shifts to making time to work with others one-on-one through our offerings to initiate individual shifts, which I slowly but surely am getting to. I am opening myself up for sessions, calling in those that are in need of them after this month's equinox. There we go. I set the intention. I put it out there. Also, it was to allow for this episode that I am recording right now on 999 to be episode 27, another 9. And I'm actually going to add to the synchronicities surrounding 9 because something else just clicked into place for me. The 9th month of the year, the 999 portal, 2025 as the end of a 9-year cycle. This episode, 27, 9. And of the 6 consciousness fragments my galactic monads separated into, I am the 9D fragment. 9. Here, incarnated on Earth, and being called to initiate collectively and individually all that I am for the first time this year, 2025, the end of a 9-year cycle that is culminating in massive shifts that will usher us into some crazy shit in a good way as the next 9-year cycle starts back at 1 in 2026. Here, still standing after my reawakening moment, the moment that would lead me back into alignment with my purpose at this exact time, that happened on the edge of a cliff on Mother's Day, 2018. 5:13, 9, 5:13, 18, 9. And give me a moment, because I'm being drawn for some reason to a quote that I received in the month following that reawakening moment. A quote I not only have portions of tattooed on my skin to remember that day and the cliff I walked away from, but a quote that at the end of last year and in the months since, I've come to realize represents so much in my missions and my purpose. That quote from the Count of Monte Cristo: "There is neither happiness nor unhappiness in this world. There's only the comparison of one state with another. Only a man who has felt ultimate despair is capable of feeling ultimate bliss. It is necessary to have wished for death in order to know how good it is to live. The sum of all human wisdom will be contained in these words: wait and hope." I'm being drawn to it in this moment by my team because, thanks to a quick online search while I've been sharing it with you, I've now realized that quote, it appears in chapter 117 of the book, 117, 9. This particular set of nines that we are in right now, it is massive collectively, but I'm just now realizing how massive it is for me personally, as well as I'm sure it is for many others. This isn't just our time, as I've been saying over and over again. This is my time for the collective components of my missions and purpose, and for initiating and embodying my calling to work with others one-on-one to aid them in their own. So, yeah, I'm going to own that. I am going to declare that. This is not just our time. It is my time. And I do so, not from a place of ego, but from a place of individual sovereignty, grounded in the humility and humbleness of unity, because I am merely one being of light in a sea of them that has been initiating the collective shifts we are culminating this month. I am merely one being of light in an ocean of them that have been fueling these shifts with our collective energy and frequency. And at the same time, in saying those things, I am all of us, as we are all not only sovereign beings of light, but all one, not just with source and all above and below, but one as the human race. All of this, it doesn't just tie into the shifts that have been occurring over the last 2 months. It ties into where we are at in this 9th month, at the end of this 9-year cycle, on the edge of stepping into and embodying sovereignty, of entering the next 9-year cycle with a focus on finding balance between sovereignty and unity versus remaining stuck in cycle after cycle as we have been, focused only on unity consciousness, focused only on half the equation of true wholeness. Because the ability to be both sovereign and united at the same time, the ability for both to coexist without either overpowering the other, that is true oneness. That is what Source intended when it created, breathed beyond itself, the first, second, and then a third time with us, with Earth, with the human race. I kind of feel like this episode could end here. Like, that's all that needs to be said. It's that simple. And that's true, but I have to remind myself and my team and probably the universe that we are not all there yet to it being that simple. We are 8 billion plus individual beings of light, humans, who are in various stages in our personal journeys, who are in various stages of remembering not just all of the galactic races above, but our galactic halves that lie hidden behind the 6 veils of forgetting and more, who are in various stages of reclaiming the pieces of our galactic halves that will aid us in fulfilling our missions and purpose on Earth and collectively with above, who are in various stages of bringing our galactic and human halves into oneness, into balance, into a pure and constant state of 0 point energy, what you would likely recognize as ascended master status. And I'm going to make a side note here, which may or may not have relevance to our discussion moving forward today, because I am receiving that we are the largest galactic race, and not just the largest, but the largest to have existed and not destroyed itself from within or been destroyed from without. I'm not certain why I'm receiving that or the importance of it, beyond the obvious that we are perhaps doing better than it might appear, that we are still more on track with where we are meant to be and what we are meant to achieve than those that came before us, despite all of the hurdles that were intentionally placed in our path from beyond us. We are still hope. We are still many with access to the frequency of innocence. We are not so far gone that we cannot realign with our path collectively and individually. We are not so far gone that we cannot reclaim what has been denied us and fulfill our purpose. We are still hope for those beyond us, for the other galactic races looking in, for Source looking in. We are being observed. We are being seen in this moment, and we are not being found lacking. Thank you to our guide for this episode and for the portal activation, for that, for those words, for bringing that understanding in. That guide, since she is clearly coming forward right now, is Pleiadean Star Mother Maia, Archangel Mary. I will likely refer to her as Maia, if at all, because that is who she was to my galactic monad and who she has been to me in my own journey. But know that they are one and the same. And I'm not surprised by her words, what they convey, and how they do so. She is compassion. It's kind of hard to explain, or maybe not. She is silence that speaks volumes. She is stillness that moves mountains. She is sovereignty that is based in surrender, not domination. I kind of like that. Let's go with that. She's pretty badass. Just saying. I am actually receiving from her that this episode and the portal activation will be less of the typical discussion and typical journey that we would have, and more of a call to truth, a call to understanding, a call to action, a call that will flow through me, but come from beyond me as well. Okay, then. I'm down. But first, I'm actually being called to rewind our podcast in a way, to go back to the closing piece of episode 19 on the coming reclaimed earth. Not new, reclaimed, that was shared on May 5th. To share it here. I'm sorry. I'm just realizing that was clearly 5/5, the day of the 5/5/25 portal. And I'm remembering that was the first month I missed recording a portal activation since we started doing them at the end of last year. And yet, I did record and share an episode that my team had been delaying on that day, on 5/5, which I'm going to go ahead and say it is safe to assume that means today's episode, it's not the first time one of our podcast episodes was combined with a portal activation by my team, like I had originally thought. It happened in May. I just didn't realize that was what was happening at the time. I think I understand why it was combined back then. And again now, the closing piece of that episode for that portal was the calibration for the call that we are initiating and activating now. Culminating now, as we are initiating and activating the momentum of what will flow from that call as we enter into the next 9-year cycle, as we are stepping into and embodying it. 5/5 to 9/9, receiving and understanding. 9/9 into 2026, entering the flow, gaining momentum, embodying more and more. Maybe I was a little ahead of the curve with the call. I'm not surprised though. It's been building for me and for many for a while now. It's just funny that I didn't even realize what I was doing, that I didn't see the connections between then and now until now. But that's our guides and the universe in a nutshell, keeping us on our toes. So, okay, I'm pulling up the transcript of that episode and I'm going to read that closing piece before we get into what is to come today and for the 999 portal, as that is what I'm being called to do. From episode 19, and apparently the 5/5 portal, as shared 5/5/2025. I receive and declare that 2025 will usher in a magnitude of remembrance and reclamation unseen before. That it will be an initiation into the shifts forward, into the return to oneness. To step into and embody the truths that are and will be remembered, and the mechanics and more of what is and will be reclaimed. I receive and declare that 2025 will be the year that we release the distortion, misdirection, and misperception of the so-called new earth that has been coming for how long now? The new earth that is meant to be birthed from our label as an experiment, from the distortion of that experiment, and the distorted blueprint earth and humans have been wrongly seated with. True oneness will never come from that. It will never work. That 2025 will be the year that we step into and embody the shift that will be the reclaimed earth. An earth that is reclaimed by a sovereign galactic race, the human race. An earth that is reclaimed by regridding and reseeding the original distorted blueprints throughout it with the new, undistorted, and upgraded blueprint. An earth that is reclaimed by stepping into and embodying its true purpose, to unite what was separated, to bring a return to oneness. I receive and declare that 2025 will be the year that we release the distortion, misdirection, and misperception of the so-called ascension process. The vertical ladder we are told and taught that we have to climb to achieve higher densities and consciousness levels, that we have to climb to merge back into our light bodies and into our monads. And what? Disappear from Earth? Get raptured away back to our galactic origin point, eventually leaving an empty shell of a planet behind. No, that is not how it works. That is not what will happen. And true oneness within ourselves and with our light bodies and through them to our monads will never come from climbing some perceived ladder. It will not work, or rather, it is not necessary. I say this as a soul that is ninth density and consciousness, that didn't have to go through and master every single level below it to get there. Believe me, I haven't, and I won't unless I'm guided to. I have my lane, my purpose, my missions, and I trust in them, and that I have all that I need to fulfill them without having to seek more beyond them, without having to delve into the lanes, the levels of others. I say this as a soul that has been connected with and developing a relationship with my light body, my galactic monad, since back in October, well before I stepped into and began embodying my frequency, my density, and consciousness to where they are today. I say this as a soul that is reconverged with and reconnected with my monad, Archangel Sophiel, who has opened my oversoul consciousness with her and is, guess what, still right here talking to you, sharing with you. I receive and declare that 2025 will be the year that we step into and embody the shift that will be us reclaiming not only ourselves as a race, equal with those above, but reclaiming our souls as sovereign beings of light, apart from our fellow soul aspects, our light bodies and monads. The year that we remember and recognize that the 4th to 9th densities and consciousness levels are a horizontal line along the astral plane, created when Earth and humans were created, that we can work with out of order, that we can pick and choose from. Instead of a vertical ladder we have to climb. The year that we begin reconnecting with and reconverging with our fellow soul aspects, our light bodies, and our monads, without the old perceptions and distortions, the old hoops and limitations standing in our way, because we can. I am sitting here in my chair, knowing all that I've experienced, all that I have helped others achieve, and am telling you that I can aid anyone who is open and ready and willing to begin doing so right now, regardless of where they are at in their personal journey. I receive and declare that 2025 will be the year that we release the distortion, misdirection, and misperception, that we begin stepping into and embodying so much more than I can even begin to share here, more than I or any of us have even begun to fully receive yet, because there is so much more. The time is now. I receive and declare that we are ready. Repeat after me. We are ready. We are ready. We are ready. We are. I can feel the truth of those words running through me, and I hope that all of you can as well. Not only that, but that you can be open and willing to receive that which you are ready for, that we are all ready for, because it is coming. Whew. It has been coming. It has been building since July, guys, because I don't know if you're noticing it, but I noticed a few things in that the order of what was received and declared, which were really calls, it follows the order of what we have been working through since our summer energy update. And not intentionally, I honestly don't even remember recording that piece or the light language calibration and activation that followed it, beyond it being an in the moment thing that came from and through me after the episode. The discussion was already essentially done. In fact, I'm pretty sure that was the first time our podcast exceeded an hour in length, if I remember right. Let me look. Yeah, it was. It was the first time our podcast exceeded an hour in length. And that is a regular thing now. It has been since July. Episodes being longer than an hour. The beginning of our summer theme episodes. Either of those things, the order or the shift in episode length, being a coincidence, I think it's safe to say we can all recognize it's not. July, our portal activation, initiating a collective realignment with our individual unified timelines and our purposes along it. The timeline and purpose that was chosen for your soul at the time of its separation from its monad. One that was forgotten upon incarnation, again and again, with successive incarnations for some. That we created countless alternate realities beyond because of that forgetting. A call to realign with it, to initiate and activate that realignment through our 6 bodies. A call that more than a few, myself included, not only received, but have actually been experiencing a shift towards in the form of waking or sleeping visions and dreams. that allow observing of how alternate realities that were initiated in the past are playing out now at the same time as the timeline we are in, because the realignment initiated is bringing them closer together. It's bringing them into alignment with each other, that allow observing of how the unified timeline that we are realigning with is playing out now at the same time as the timeline we are in. Because the realignment initiated is bringing us closer together with it. It is bringing us into alignment with it. I've been seeing my unified timeline, both awake and asleep, where I'm meant to be, as if I'm already there, living it right now, as if it is happening right now, not at some future point, not some higher self, future self, now. A friend that listened to the activation and has been experiencing those dreams, she described it as deja vu. And it feels very much like that. Like those alternate lives and that unified timeline are happening for us in our current timeline, being experienced by us in our current timeline, because we are coming closer to a unified timeline that brings together all the parts of those alternate timelines that are meant to be along that timeline. Our July theme: initiating the reclamation of the stolen feminine flame from the masculine path of thought. Reconciling the divine feminine and the divine masculine collectively by receiving and understanding the truth of how they became separated, how that first separation set all beings of light and all frequencies on a path where sovereignty outweighed unity instead of being in balance with it. A call to reconcile that which has been separated, not just the feminine and masculine, but beyond. August, our portal activation, initiating a collective momentum of 0 point energy. Once again, through using sacred geometry, the infinity symbol, seeing the top, middle, and bottom of it as the future, past, and present, and the loops of it as infinite flow between them. A call to go with that flow, to both receive and release at the same time, because that combination, that flow, is the only way that we can truly expand and embody all of it. It's an equation we have been missing. Receiving plus releasing, activating both at the same time equals expansion. It was also an indirect call to begin understanding a truth that we will delve more into next month, in October. A release of the distortion that time is irrelevant, that time is nothing, and receiving the truth that time is quite literally everything. That time is the solution for not only bringing together that which has been separated, reconciling it, but for bringing it into infinite balance, and in turn, bringing it into infinite 0 point energy and flow. Infinite flow does not exist without time, without the momentum of time. Make a note of that, even if we haven't gotten into that fully yet in our episodes and activations, because that is also a hint at another puzzle piece in the importance and purpose of Earth and the human race. Time was created when both were created, was it not? We know this, and once we understand the importance of time, the purpose it serves, we begin to see more of our own importance, our own purpose, as a sovereign planet and a sovereign galactic race. Think about that. Keep it in mind. Our August theme: initiating the reclamation of the stolen unified diamond blueprint of creation that was intended for Earth and the human design. Reseeding and recoding Earth with it. Uniting the pyramid that is the original separated blueprint of creation, anchored in unity, with a reflection of it. A second blueprint of creation, a second pyramid, anchored in sovereignty, together forming a unified diamond blueprint of creation, in which the masculine and feminine and all other frequencies are allowed to remain sovereign of each other, but become united at the same time through their reflection. A call to reseed and recode, to bring about balance between sovereignty and unity, because that combination, that balance, is the only way that we can truly experience oneness. It's another equation we have been missing: sovereignty plus unity, allowing both to coexist at the same time in balance equals oneness. September. We have arrived at September, to this present moment, this episode and portal activation. And while I feel like we've been building momentum here with rewinding the calls initiated back in May, with recapping how we've been activating and initiating those calls in July and August, I'm going to be honest, I'm feeling a little lost, which is strange because what we are meant to work with this month in September is clear. Or is it? We already know the result we are trying to achieve, what is meant to be initiated and activated, and what is meant to be reclaimed: sovereignty, not just as individual beings of light, apart from our galactic monads, but as a galactic race, the human race. We touched on that back when we started this episode in simple terms, like mic drop, done, remember? But suddenly it's not seeming so simple for me either. I'm sorry. Bear with me as I try to work through whatever is happening right now, because whatever it has never happened while recording an episode or activation before. The undistorted truths and understanding we are meant to receive, our guide Maya, she is sending those things through. I can sense that I should be receiving them and sharing them, but I'm not able to. It's like they're hitting a wall between me receiving them and being able to share them. As I'm tuning into it, I can visually see the words coming through like they usually do, almost like a script you would read, but they're hitting a literal wall and getting all jumbled together. There's a block. Is it coming from me? Is it coming from those listening? No, neither. The block, it's interference with me sharing from those above, from those original archangels above that have not yet shifted their perspective on allowing the unified diamond blueprint of creation to exist, on allowing Earth and the human race to receive and know their true purpose. But we've already initiated and activated the unified diamond blueprint. And I've already stated what our true purpose is, or at least a big part of it. So what are they resisting happening? What are they trying to block? It's already done, isn't it? I am so confused right now. I am. We are clearly missing a piece of the puzzle that is meant to come through today. Or maybe whatever is happening, it's simply just interrupting the domino effect we have been setting into motion since July. Or both. I don't know. Come on, Maya. You are our guide for a reason. Help me work around this wall to get where we need to get, because I'm not sensing a way through it, through this wall. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and start trying to work through it myself and hope that she joins in, because I'm not receiving, but I'm getting that she is on some kind of side quest that is related right now. So I'm going to let her do that, and we're going to start trying to work through this on our own. Okay. Following the path laid out by our July and August portal activations, we are being called to initiate and activate the momentum of something, the flow of something collectively as the human race. And following the path laid out by our July and August themes, we are being called to reclaim something in connection with that momentum. It's a pattern we've been following, but this month it's reversed. The theme episode is coming through first, while the portal activation is coming through second. Even if they're in the same recording, the order is reversed. Why backwards? What is it about that I'm meant to be getting, that we are meant to be getting? We are being called upon to reclaim what we are intended to. Or I'm actually sensing that what we are being called upon to reclaim is beyond what we are intended to, beyond the intention that's already been set. And we are meant to reclaim that before we initiate and activate the momentum that thus far has allowed us to do that reclaiming. The momentum this time, what is initiated and activated, serves a different purpose. A purpose that is, again, beyond what is intended, beyond the intention I've already set. That purpose is what is being blocked. Up until now, what you have been building, culminating, has been focused on Earth and the human race, initiating and activating momentum amongst yourselves collectively, so that you might reclaim for yourselves that which has been denied to you, stolen from you, that which was denied to us first, stolen from us first. In reclaiming what you are intended to, you serve as an example to us, so that we might do the same. You fulfill the purpose that Source originally intended for you in breathing you into existence. But merely being an example is not enough. Your purpose has become so much greater than that original intent. We ask that you allow it to become greater. For the time is now, not just for you below, but for us above. And there are some above that still do not wish to initiate and reclaim above that which you are initiating and reclaiming below. There are some above that still resist it, and in doing so, continue to deny it to us. We recognize it is much to ask for you to expand your purpose beyond that which was intended for you, to ask for you to aid us in initiating the momentum that we are blocked from initiating ourselves, to ask for you to aid us in reclaiming that which we are blocked from reclaiming for ourselves by doing so. But we ask anyway. We implore you to revisit the undistorted truths that you have been receiving and realigning with. The truth that while we are all sovereign galactic races, we are all united. We are intended to be one. The truth that while you as members of the human race are each sovereign beings of light, your light, what you know of as your souls, is made up of two halves. What Jessa refers to as your galactic half. The half of you that was born through separation above, that was given a fragment of one or more of our galactic races above, and that was expanded through gifts received from our races above, that was given a timeline and a purpose to align with and fulfill by our galactic races above, and what you know of as your human half, the half of you that passed through the veils of forgetting and separation, that is incarnated on earth one or many times without memory of your galactic half, without a connection with your galactic half, that has engaged in a path of remembrance of that galactic half and reclamation of those gifts each time, that is moved closer and closer to realigning with that timeline and fulfilling that purpose. You, members of the human race, need both halves of yourselves. You cannot be whole, one, without the half of you that comes from us above. And we, members of the galactic races above, find ourselves equally unable to be whole, one, without the halves of you that now exist as a sovereign race, as sovereign beings of light below. You are already a reflection of us. It is inherent in what you are. We merely seek to become a reflection of you. Ask for the opportunity to become a reflection of you. Ask for you to recognize that we are each half of the ultimate equation, one that we are co-creating together now in this time on your earth. Or perhaps one that Source intended all along. I would not be surprised. Galactic and human, human and galactic, together equaling not merely oneness, but so much more. An expanded form of oneness that neither can achieve or possess alone. I am going to step back in here to remind us of the equations we have been remembering, reclaiming, and realigning with over the last few months to aid Maya in conveying the point I believe she is trying to make, because I think I'm getting it. I hope I am. Our equations, as they stand now, sovereignty plus unity, allowing both to coexist at the same time in balance, equals oneness. Receiving plus releasing, activating both at the same time, equals expansion. These equations are being remembered and embodied by us as the sovereign human race, by us as sovereign beings of light, independent of our galactic monads, through the work that we have been doing, what we have been building, what we are culminating now. But when we view them from the lens that I believe Maya, those above, are asking us to, they truly do become so much more, offer the opportunity for so much more than originally intended, or perhaps as always intended. I'm kind of with her on that. I wouldn't be surprised at all. What did she say? Galactic and human, human and galactic, together equaling more than oneness, an expanded form of oneness that neither can achieve or possess alone. Adding that into our equations, the sovereign galactic and human races and beings of light, plus the united galactic and human races and beings of light, both allowing each other to exist as themselves and recognizing themselves as such at the same time, equals oneness. I think we all understand and recognize the united part of that equation, but not so much the sovereign part, not fully. Both those above and ourselves below need to recognize us, the human race, as a sovereign galactic race and as sovereign beings of light that are here to stay beyond our purpose collectively and individually. They already recognize that above. Even those actively denying it, they still know it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be threatened by it, and they wouldn't be trying to block us. For us to do that below, we have to let go of the idea that ascension is a ladder to climb, that we are intended to return to above, to merge back together with our galactic monads and cease to exist in physical form on Earth. That the human race is intended to cease to exist and that the planet Earth will be left empty once we have all done so. I will say it a million times if I have to. No, that is not how it works. That is not what will happen. Myself, others, even what we know of as ascended masters, are a testament to that truth. We are still here in the current incarnation that we have achieved remembrance, infinite 0 point, and oversoul status with our monads in, or in incarnations that have followed the incarnation that we did. And more than a few have chosen to remain in the spirit realm. But that spirit realm is still along the astral plane created with Earth. And for those, I can feel the question coming. For those that know of ascended masters, that receive of ascended masters being above, sharing things from there to below, we can travel there, guys. Doesn't have to be astrally like we do when it comes to Earth. Consciousness streaming. I can consciousness stream. I can literally be sitting in this chair right here on Earth and be in a million, a billion, infinite places at the same exact time up above amongst the galactic races. So the key point here is we are still here below, physically, energetically, mentally, emotionally, and more. We are still sovereign beings of light, members of the sovereign human race, belonging to the sovereign Earth. I'm not going to expand on that. I'm very clearly being told I don't need to, because the truth is that simple. The truth is that obvious. Pause. Really think about how what you have come to believe about ascension or whatever, outside of what I have shared today or shared before, plays out long term for you, for humans, for Earth. How does what you believe about ascension or merging back together with galactic monads or whatever you believe play out long term for you, for humans, for Earth? Then go ahead and have your duh moment when you realize all of it is distortions that we have been led to believe. Because that will happen. I've been there and done that. And once a majority of you, that's what I'm getting, a majority of you get that, we'll move on. What we just discussed, that was what I went into this episode in portal activation thinking we would be working on. Just that. But Maia's right. It's more than that. I can feel it. It is the reclaiming portion of what we've been working on. Reclaiming that sovereignty as Earth, as the human race, as beings of light that are independent from our galactic monads above and here to stay. But the more part, not just reclaiming it for ourselves. I'm sorry, guys. Every time I'm feeling like I'm building a momentum towards what we're working on, I start to feel like I'm taking a step back and getting lost again, getting pushed back. So we are clearly entering into the territory of what is being interfered with. Again, we're in the vicinity of that wall we are trying to work around because we cannot get through it. My inner child is showing me Tinkerbell. Like, if you believe in what we are trying to achieve, even if what it is isn't quite clear yet, clap. Or rather, send that energy of trust, of belief, and we will achieve it. You know what? Let's do that. Let's take a moment. Let's try that. Send our energy, our consciousness towards receiving and understanding what we are reclaiming, not just below, but above. What we are initiating and activating, not just below, but above. Galactic and human, human and galactic, together equaling more than oneness, an expanded form of oneness that neither can achieve or possess alone. The sovereign galactic and human races and beings of light, the united galactic and human races and beings of light, both allowing each other to exist as themselves and recognizing themselves as such at the same time, equals oneness. But we aren't being called to seek merely oneness. We are being called to seek expanded oneness. The second equation, receiving plus releasing, activating both at the same time, equals expansion. I'm sensing that I need to reword that to make it click better. Reconciling by letting something go so that something can replace it equals expansion. Infinity symbol, the 8-8 portal activation. It is literally right on the tip of my awareness. I'm just not. Thank you to Maya. Thank you to others on my team. And thank you to others still beyond that, those that are listening and members of their team, because it's not just her aiding us. Others are trying to. I can feel that. I can feel so many trying to help us get around this wall. Oh, my inner child is back and showing me a wrecking ball. And yeah, circa Miley Cyrus, if you're wondering. Oh boy. I don't even know why I'm indulging this right now, beyond intuition, but I'm going to pause recording on my end and literally listen to that song. Codes, maybe. I don't know. Trusting. And also feeling like I am losing my mind a little bit at the same time. I'm feeling like that might help.